our iniquity. The chastisement of our peace is upon Him, and with His stripes we were healed. Sickness, superstition, and devils had us pinned down. Bruised and wounded. That great battle there when even nations, our nation is represented by an eagle. And there's other birds of other nations. Rome has an eagle. Germany has an eagle. Many of them great birds of the sky. But in all of them, the dove symbolizes peace. In all nations. It's a universal thing. Just like Brother Green said one night, Brother Perry Green said, the symbol of surrender is raise your hands. Any nation, raise up your hands, it's surrender. He said, when you sing, raise up your hands, you surrender all. And the dove is a symbol of peace in every nation. Why is it done? Because of its gentleness and because of its innocence. That's the reason it symbols peace. Another thing about the dove, it is a home-loving bird. It loves to stay home. And another thing it is, it's always loyal to its mate. The dove, male and female, never leave one another. That female finds her mate in mating season. See? That's complementary to God's great creation. That's the reason He made Eve a byproduct, see? If she'd been made like other females, when the time come for her mating time, she'd found her mate. But she could any time, see? That's what it is. We won't go into that because God don't marriage and divorce and so forth, and how but yet she's honorable and brought that virtue, and you know I preached on to the night. All right, notice, she's got a great responsibility. But the dove is always loyal to his mate. Always. Never leaves her. And I stop here just for a minute to say this. A true bride, female dove, is loyal to her mate too. It won't inject any dogmas, any denominational doctrines, anything of the world. It'll say loyal to its mate, the Word. Always loyal. And by this home-loving conduct, by the conduct of its home-loving, it has been successfully used for a carrier pigeon. Because it loves home, you turn it loose anywhere, it'll always go back home. It'll go back home. We'd like to stress on that a little while. You Christians that understand what I mean? It always finds its way back home, so therefore, it's been used for carrier pigeons. It's used in time of war, used to be. They still use them. Carrier pigeons to carry a message. So you see, then that makes the dove, both by God and man, a messenger. A dove is a messenger. It was a messenger to Noah, to tell Noah that there's peace again. It was used by God to vindicate that this was His Son, the sacrifice, to bring peace upon the earth and goodwill to man. It was used as a messenger. Right here I have a little story in my mind I read one time out of a book. Now, I don't want to say this as sure. It may be in the decline of the First World War. I'm not positive of that now. If you miss seeing it, then I'm wrong. I either read the book's been many years ago. But it was certainly a dramatic thing that happened. The American soldiers was pinned down by German machine gun fire. And they were in kind of a pit. You soldiers, I guess, understand how they were on a reconnaissance somewhere and they was pinned down. And they had just a little bit of ammunition left, and the Germans was moving in. Great units moving in everywhere. And they knowed that unless they get some reinforcement, some help, that they would soon all die. They had to. The Germans coming right down off the mountains, looking right down their neck, going right into them like that. And one of them happened to remember that he had a little mascot. How many's heard that story? I've told you that many times to people around the tavern. Well, on and on it went. Suffering just the same. Mayo brothers the next day examined me, said, your father was an Irishman. You drink. Your mother being a half Indian, that makes you almost a half-breed. So you're just such a nervous wreck until you'll never be out of it. Said otherwise you're healthy. But that's something in the soul that man cannot control. Said when a man dies, can't hold autopsy because his soul's gone. He said, well, you'll never get over it. And that guy said, my old doctor said my father had it. He died at about 85, 90 years old. Somewhere along there, he said. Pretty and white. Could have been a pigeon. Whatever it was away in that wilderness. God Almighty, who raised up Jesus Christ from the dead, whose servant I am. His word laying here open before me. Know that I tell the truth and lie not. There sat the dove, sitting there looking at me. I walked around, I thought, surely it's a vision. I turned my head, looked back, and there he sat there, them little white wings, just as snowy as he could be, his little yellow feet and little yellow beak, sitting there looking at me. He's watching right straight westward. I walked around him like I wouldn't touch him for nothing. I walked on up the trail, looked back, and there he still sat watching me. Brother, as a son of Abraham, I consider not what the doctor told me. I'm going to be well anyhow. The third day I went back, I was climbing up high. Many of you know the vision about the Indian chief riding that little wall to the west. Something attracted me off to a big rock. About noontime, said, lay your hands against that and pray. God in heaven knows this is true. I laid my hands against the rock and looked up towards heaven and started praying. I heard a voice coming out of the top of the rock there. Said, what are you leaning against over your heart? I raised back like this, my bare shoulders naked from the waist up, hot. I looked back, and there was wrote in the quartz, in the stone, white eagle. Just exactly what the vision said that the next message would come forth by. I was so excited, I run home, got a camera, and come back the next day and took the picture of it. It was still there. Wrote in the rock, white eagle. Dove leading eagle. Somehow, I know, I tell you before it happened, the doctor's a good doctor, no doubt. I think he's a fine man. But on the wings Where'd that dove come from? How many's heard that story? I've told you that many times to people around the tavern. Well, on and on it went. Suffering just the same. Male brothers the next day examined me, said,